What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon. Trump is going to downgrade marijuana. All you marijuana smokers, all you weed smokers, Trump is going to declassify, meaning that it won't be considered a hard drug. It'll be considered like Tylenol, codeine, basically. It'll be like a prescription drug. So I don't know what that means for you marijuana smokers, but I would think that would be good news, for him to declassify. And guess what? Those marijuana stocks skyrocket on that news that Trump is going to declassify marijuana come next week. That's what they're saying. How about Phillip Rivers, man? Phillip Rivers. All you old guys. Man, you're not old if you're 40 or over. Don't let them say you old. You are not old. Look how Phillip Rivers performed today. All them youngsters came at Phillip Rivers. That was a hell of a game. And they had a chance to win. Defense just didn't hold up. But Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, I think he's 44, came out of retirement. They called him. That's why you always got to stay ready, keep them getting ready. I say that all the time. You're not old if you're 40 or over. Don't let them say that. Phillip Rivers went out there and performed really, really well to be an older guy. Yeah, he did. That was a good game. Actually, he had a chance to win. Yep, he had a chance to win, but the defense just didn't hold up. Hold on, let's get going. Appreciate y'all for joining me, man, on this Sunday night. Let's rock and roll.
More than $3 trillion, and we have over 18. That's, again, because they don't want to pay tariffs. So in order not to pay tariffs, they come in and they build their plant in the United States. It's pretty simple. And it's been pretty amazing, actually. We have some very special people here. And because I believe in family so strongly, I think I should introduce, we have Don, we have his children, we have Vanessa, her children, Kai, Tristan, Spencer, Chloe. Kai's a great golfer. Has anyone ever? Oh, there she is. Hi, Kai. Put your hand up, Kai. Can you beat your grandpa in golf? Can Kai beat her grandpa in golf? I don't know. But she's great. Chloe is going to be amazing. And all of them, they're great athletes. They're really great. So I just want to welcome Don, and I want to welcome Vanessa. I want to welcome the kids. And Bettina, who's with Don, is such a fantastic person. Where's Bettina? She's a great athlete, too. She said, where are you? I hear a really good athlete. So that's very nice. But so I just had to do that. But then I'm going to tell you about some other people that are here because it's amazing. We have a man who just won the U.S. Open in golf. He hits a long ball, slightly longer than me. I used to think I hit a long ball until I played with him. But everybody feels that way, even the touring pros. He's the longest hitter in golf. He's the longest hitter, much more importantly. He putts great. He chips great. He hits the ball dead straight. It's tough. When you're the longest, straightest hitter that putts the best and chips the best, typically you're going to do quite well, and he does quite well. Just signed a contract for like $200 million for playing golf. You're paying like hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's a fantastic person. You know what he's got, though, better than all of his game? The head. He's got the head is better than anything. He knows how to win. Where's Bryson DeChambeau? Is he here? Bryson, come up here, Bryson. Come on. Come on, Bryson. I want to ask, why is he longer? Look at him. Now, if you rip off the jacket, you'll see the muscles are serious, but we don't have to rip off jackets. Come on up here. Say hello. Hi, Bryce. The current U.S. Open champion.
goodness. Well, I did not know I was going to be coming up here today, but I got to say thank you. And
what's up, to Don? How you doing?
In this
Appreciate you
term has been
joining.
incredible, right? It's the greatest economy that we've ever
We
had.
got 39 people in the building.
Just to be
Appreciate
serving
y'all
on
for
the
joining.
President's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition has been such an honor. And the First Lady looks so beautiful, by the way. And I'll say cheers to the greatest economy that we've had in a long, long time. And Merry Christmas to everybody. You kids look awesome down there. I think that when I was a kid, I never imagined that I'd even be up here. How is this even possible? So it's been a beautiful moment. I'm going to cry, actually, because I don't even know why I'm up here speaking.
He hasn't cried in a long time.
No, not since the.
He's not a big crier.
Not since the U.S. Open, but
He makes other people cry.
I got to tell you, what everybody's doing here is incredible for the country, and I got to thank the President of the United States. He is such an amazing human being. More importantly, as I've gotten to know him over the past decade now, almost, what he's done, not just for our country, but just for every single person that he goes and interacts with, is absolutely incredible. I can't tell you how many times I've been around him and him just look up to or look over to a kid and be like, "How are you doing? You're doing so great. Love you. Keep going forward. Keep growing in life." It's unbelievable what he does for families and for kids. And for that, I say thank you and Merry Christmas to you guys. It's so amazing.
How is my golf game?
His golf game, look, his iron play is actually probably better than mine right now. I'll tell you that right now. I can hit it a little farther, but
He's a slightly longer.
just a little bit. But his putting has gotten really good lately. I played with Gary Player and Masa's son, of which he made so many putts when we played together for Gary's 90th. But anyway, he's a great golfer, better human being, and you definitely.
What's up, Jonathan Davis? Good question. The classify, what is that? I mean, you read the title. I'm very glad you read the title. Donald Trump, sometime next week, the word is that he's going to declassify marijuana, meaning that he's going to downsize it from being like a heavy drug. I think it's Schedule 3, and he's going to drop it down to a Schedule 2, which is a Schedule 1. He's going to drop it down to a Schedule 1, which basically means it's going to be like a prescription drug, right? It's still like it's still going to be legal, but it's going to be like a Tylenol with codeine, similar to that. That's what declassify means. He's going to take it from a high charge to a lower one. What's up, chat? Appreciate y'all for joining, man. 86 people in the building. Weed stocks explode on news that Trump is going to declassify marijuana. The feds are getting this close from making marijuana legal. So appreciate y'all for joining me. Let's go.
We're all so lucky to have him as the President of the United States. So thank you guys. Thank you.
So Bryson, coming up the 18th fairway, needed a par to win the U.S. Open. He pulled his drive, which is a little bit unlike him, and he had a horrible lie. He was in a bush. This is not good. Because it looked like it was going to be a routine, but it's hard to finish. Winning is not easy.
What's up? I guess that's Meyer, 8057. Don't believe it until it happened. Well, all he got to do is a stroke of a pen. You know that, right? What do you mean, Stock Sniper, by a stroke of a pen? All he got to do is put out an executive order. He is the commander-in-chief. All he got to do is write an executive order and boom, just like that, and declassify it. And the word is that's going to happen.
And especially with golf. So he pulled his drive a little bit, hit it about 360, but he pulled it. And he was in a bush. He chopped it out. It was actually an amazing shot. Many of the golfers, who saw this whole thing? Yes, right? I see all my friends are saying I saw it. He chopped it out of the bush, moved it forward 100 yards into a sand trap. So now he's...
Come on now, 8057, make it make sense. Just like he said he's going to end the war in Ukraine. You cannot compare ending a war to a stroke of a pen of declassifying marijuana. Come on now, make it make sense. That's totally different.
"60 yards away." If you know anything about golf, that's the worst shot you can have. In fact, the pros don't even practice it because there's no way to figure it out. So he has 60 yards. What was it? 54 yards to be exact, I think. 54, or like about that. 54 yards. That's the worst thing that can happen. Behind the green is the clubhouse. If you go there, you have a 2-stroke penalty. You lose the U.S. Open. In front of the green is the worst bushes you've ever seen. So he has to either put it on the green or he's dead. So his caddy, who was a great caddy, wanted him to play way left and take 2 long putts and get into a playoff. Bryson said, no, we got to go for the win. He takes like an open face 9-iron or wedge, which normally you wouldn't use. It's a very hard shot. And he hits it 4 feet from the hole. Now, for a golfer, they would say, that's not so good because they have to sink a 4-footer because they can't sink 4-footers. That guy can sink 4-footers. So he still had a 4-foot putt that broke a few inches to the right, which is considered harder than breaking to the left. He stood over the ball, hit it, went into the hole. He wins the U.S. Open. So that's called a champion's heart. So it's great to have you. You're a great champion. You won a lot of golf, U.S. Amateur, a lot of tournaments. And you know, you're just the beginning of your great, you know, your age is where they really become great. 31, 32 years old. That's when, if you look statistically, they do the best from 31, 32 to 40. Except for VJ. VJ won all of his tournaments from 40 to 50. VJ is the one unique player, right? He became great at 40. But you're at the exact perfect age, so great. You're a great champion. Thank you. It's great that you're here. Maybe I'll take a chipping lesson from him. He's a good champion. So I also want to thank Casey. I want to thank you for being here. James Blair, I want to thank you. Where's James? What a job he's done. You have your beautiful family, James? This guy is so good. You know, I wasn't sure. He was very quiet, and I kept hearing he's very quiet. But I'd hear from other people he's a total political genius, but I didn't see it because he was always, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was intimidated by the office of the president. But I heard he was like this brilliant guy. I'm telling you, sir. And then they gave him a very high position. I said, he's so quiet. They said, he's not quiet, sir. Maybe he's quiet around you. He's not quiet. And that was 2 years ago. And you know what? He's not quiet. He's incredible. The job you've done. Thank you, James. Great. Is the other James there? Because you have 2 Jameses. They're both great. So I used to call him Big James and Little James. But the problem is he's not little at all. And I don't think people like being called Little James. But I meant it very affectionately. But Big James is like 6'7", and he weighs like 320. So he's big compared to almost anybody.
Hello,
so
Tommy. How you doing?
Then I said,
Thank
okay,
you
I'll
for
change
joining.
it. I'll call him Big James, and I'll call him Brilliant James. But that's a real slight on Big James now. So I just keep calling him James, whoever comes. But you've done a great job, and I appreciate it. I know you're working on that situation for appointments, and that'll be great.
What's up, chat? How y'all doing tonight? We got 100 people in the building. Y'all do me a favor and hit the like button. Y'all do me a favor and hit the like button. We got 100 people in the building coming to rock with us. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button. Can we get 100 likes tonight? Can we get 100 likes? Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. We also got a football game on tonight.
Right. Pull that off. Naomi, thank you very much from Bedminster. Naomi is here. She does a fantastic job, and I want to thank you. I want to thank Erin Elmore. Is Erin here? Erin, come here, Erin. She's marrying the most powerful man in the administration. She's getting married to the great Dan Scavino. Is Dan here or is he working? He's too big. Come on up here, Erin. You think?
All you got to do, chat, is double tap the screen to activate the like button so we can get more people in here to rock with us on this great, great Sunday night.
Dan has bad taste. You won't believe this. Mickey Gallagher, another great golfer, is here. He's the head pro at Bedminster, and come on up here, Aaron. You know the First Lady?
How are you? Nice to see you. How are you?
Want to say a couple of words?
Sure.
Because she's a great hostess. She hosts professionally everything, and she's the best. But now she's probably gonna, let's see, is she gonna choke?
No.
Is she gonna be the opposite of Bryson? Go ahead, say a couple. Great, you look great.
Thank you, Mr. President, First Lady, and to everyone, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute honor. I got to fly here today with Vanessa and all of the kids, and you just have such a wonderful family. Everyone is amazing and polite and smart and athletic and talented. So you guys have done a truly amazing job, and it's a testament to your family. And I think this party is really special because my son is here, my sister is here, and
Hello,
the holidays
Leon.
and Christmas are truly about
3026,
family. And
how you doing?
thank
Thank
God
you
that we
for
have
joining.
a president and a first lady who puts our families first, who puts America first. And that's why we get to have this special, amazing, beautiful Christmas season the way that it is. And I thank God every day that President Trump won November 5th of last year. And I think we keep making America great again for all of these people here today, our children, our families. So thank you so much for having me. And thank you, President, First Lady.
Thank you. Great. Now you know what I'm talking about. You did a good job. I don't know, Scavino's great, but without that big power, do you think that she would have been interested in him? James, I don't know. I think the power is the thing that did it, right?
And his charming personality.
He's a great guy. You got a great guy, the best.
And he looks great these days.
He's a handsome guy, right? Look at her. Now she's defending him. Thank you. Aaron, thank you very much. Thank you, darling. Great job. I appreciate it. So Mickey Gallagher, where's Mickey? Mickey from one of the... Now, he's a great player, too. Probably Mickey would agree that he's not quite as good as Bryson. He's the head pro at Bedminster, one of the most respected professionals, the most, like in New Jersey. Forget, he's like a king. And he's a real... really good golfer. But we've given up on the tour stuff, right, Mickey? We gave up. Well, when you see somebody's 100 yards longer, you say, let's go back to hiring golf pros all over the place, right? Thank you, Mickey, for being here. And he is a great golfer. Really terrific lawyer. He's been with me for a long time. I think he's got his family with him, and his family's great. Alan Garton. Where's Alan? Alan, nice to see you, Alan. Boy, are we winning cases or losing? I think we're winning. I guess we're winning because here we are, right? That's good. Well, you've done a great job, and look at that beautiful baby, huh? That boy, he's not a baby anymore, right? Good, good. Thank you, Alan. Is your wife here, who we happened to meet on the job? He met on the job. You know, we're not supposed to do that stuff, but they got along very well. I said, to hell with it. We have very flexible rules in the Trump organization. I said, you know, those two seem to be too... She's a great lawyer. I don't know, she may be a better lawyer than you, Ellen, I hate to tell you. But I noticed they came into my office and they were extraordinarily friendly, you know, like they'd walk in, two separate lawyers, and it's strange when they walk into my office and they're holding hands, you know, it's like, I said, what the hell's going on over here, right? So, Alan, I just want to thank you for doing a great job, both of you for doing a great job, and congratulations on the family and everything. A man who's really fantastic. He started off as a speechwriter, and my problem is I didn't stick to his speech that much, but whenever I stuck to his speech, I would never get myself into trouble. But he's one of the greatest speech writers in the world, and together with his partner, Ross, they form a team that, you know, they've been with me right from the beginning. Vince, are you here, Vince? Oh, there you are, Vince. It's amazing the way you blended in. He wants to blend in. And now he's doing something I think that's going to be the most exciting job of all. And Ross is doing really well. They split up probably the first time. You know, they've always been a team. They wrote, they love each other. They got along so well for so many years. And I said, you know, we have a couple of jobs. Vince is unbelievable on policy. And we have a policy thing that's going to be unbelievable happening. Should I announce it or should I keep it quiet? I put Vince in charge of the Triumphal Arc. We're building an arc like the Arc de Triomphe. And we're building it by the Arlington Bridge, the Arlington Cemetery, opposite the Lincoln Memorial. You could say Jefferson, Washington, everything, because they're all right there. And it's something that is so special. It will be like the one in Paris, but to be honest with you, it blows it away in every way. And Vince came in one day and his eyes were teeming. I mean, he couldn't believe how beautiful it was. He saw it and he wanted to do that. That's your primary thing. There is nothing that can compete with that. It's the only city in the world that's of great importance that doesn't have a triumphal arch. You know what that is? And this one is going to blow them all away. The one that people know mostly is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. And we're going to top it by, I think, a lot. The only thing they have is history. You know, 1860 is something, I always say, the one thing you can't compete with, but eventually we'll have that history too. But we're going to have something that the likes of which has never been done before. And it's been waiting for 200 years, literally. I think the Civil War got in the way of it. You know, the opening, they actually have they have 4 columns, 4 small columns with the eagles on top. And they have the circle, you know, before on the other side from the Lincoln. And it's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. It's been waiting for hundreds of years. And they were going to build on it a couple of times. It never happened. But it's a circle that's been waiting to have the arc built on it. And I think we're very far along. I think you might want to show it to the National Trust if you'd like. You might want to show it to a couple of people. Take a look at it. Because I've always gotten really along well with the National Trust. So take a look and show it to them. And start, maybe they give you some good ideas too, okay? But I'm proud of you, and I'm really especially proud of the job you've done. From day one, he and his partner, Ross, have been writing really great speeches. And I just wish I stuck with them a little bit more often. But we go on and off those speeches, right? And I think ultimately that's the best combination, right? So one of the greatest in the world, the two of those guys, the greatest. Then we have a man who, to me, this is the most interesting story. Boy, do you look like Ivanka. Has anyone ever told you that? I'm saying, is that Ivanka? Could you just turn around for the camera? Does she look like Ivanka? It's the most unbelievable thing. So I didn't want to take a chance. I say, is that Ivanka? You look just like Ivanka, which is a great compliment, actually. So we have a doctor in the White House named Dr. James Jones. Can I tell the story? And he's a great doctor, highly respected by so many people. He's helped so many people. I've had people come to the White House and they were so sick. I've had people come to the White House along with your partner. You have a lot of partners. You have Walter Reed Medical Center, which I think is the best in the world. They've seen things that nobody wants to see, right? They have, doctors have told me, if you can get out of here, you've seen it all. And that's why they produce some of the best doctors in the world. Well, Dr. James Jones is a great doctor. He was the White House doctor during the Obama administration and during the Trump administration. And I guess during a little bit of those two, because we had somebody else named Doc Ronnie who actually got a glimpse of Obama in there too. Is that Doc Ronnie back there? No? Doc Ronnie did all 3. And he said Trump is in the best health of all. He had Bush, he had Obama, he had Trump. He didn't have Biden. He didn't have Biden. But Dr. James went on a trip to Peru with the 2 Obama girls. They wanted to go hiking in Peru. Was it Peru? In Peru. And it's known for being a rather rough place in terms of physical creatures crawling around. 28,000 people die a year from a snake bite, a certain snake. It's a viper, right? It's said to be the most poisonous snake in the world. And he made a comment, and somebody else told him, that's very dangerous in that area to go hiking. And the guide said, oh, don't worry, we never see that snake. It's over-exaggerated, even though 28,000 people a year die. That's not over-exaggerated. Because when they lift the rice and the this and the that out of the water, they get hit. And if you get hit, it's automatic death. So he goes out and he's, in your last day, right? You're getting ready to come back. For 2 weeks, they're traipsing around in Peru. And he's got to follow them because he's the White House doctor. And he's with the two young ladies who I'll bet are nice. You actually said they were very nice young ladies, too. I'll bet they are. And final day, final 2 hours, he gets hit by a viper, right? This is a terrible Christmas story, but it's a hell of a story because I'll tell you what happened. He gets hit with a viper, and the viper missed him. It hit his jacket, a very thick jacket, and spread all of the venom all over the place. It went all over. But that wasn't good enough for the viper. The viper hit him a second time, and this time it got him on the arm. And so I think probably the only reason you made it, even though making it took him 2 years to make it, but they read him the last rites. He was gone on 3 different occasions. They thought he was dead. And, it takes only a minute. And because of Doc Ronnie Jackson, he knew, they called in, and he was at the White House, and he knew from the description and the location what kind of a snake it was. And they had the venom just in case. But the venom rarely works. It's so powerful, this snake. It's said to be the most poisonous. That, the black mamba, the brown mamba, and the viper from Peru. You do not want to play games, okay? And I'm telling this story because my son Don, this is a hell of a, did you hear this story? And so he's being read his rights and they thought he was dead 3 times, 3 different times. They carried him out, feeding him the antivenom, and over a period of months, he was unconscious for a long time, many weeks, and he made it. I asked him, how you doing today? He said, is it perfect? Look how quiet everybody is. It's funny when you talk about snakes and things like that people find it interesting. Would anybody like to go to Peru and walk around the forest with, he says, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'll say no, thank you. But this was a real, did they ever find the snake, by the way?
They did.
Oh, they did find it? What did they do?
They took care of it.
Normally the environment.
Boy, that's one thing about Trump, Chad. He knows how to rant and he knows how to tell a story. Man, can we get to the meat and potatoes? Trump.
Environmentalists and the animal rights people would say, oh, leave it alone. It's such a wonderful. Okay, usually they say, leave it alone. It's such a wonderful. Leave the sharks alone. Don't touch the sharks. They're wonderful. I love the sharks, right? I don't feel that way, but that's okay. Just lost about 1 vote. That's all. But so he got better. And here's the story. The purpose of the story is that he wrote a book 9 years ago, would you say? This was 9 years ago? 3 years. The book is 3 years old. And it was okay. It sold about 2 copies. But it had a hell of a cover. And it has a cover of the White House and this vicious snake. And it is vicious. Teeth like this, those fangs. These are not fangs you want, sucking on your arm, right? As you had. By the way, what did you do? When that snake was on your arm, you tried to get it off your arm, I guess, naturally. What was happening?
I rolled off, sir, so I don't remember it.
You mean it hit you that hard that it knocked you out immediately? It's unbelievable. So he wrote a book 3 years ago. And the book was fine. It's like every other book. It didn't sell too much, but it was interesting. But I heard the story, and I'm fascinated by stories of wildlife because I have a theory. Wildlife always wins. That's what my theory is. We can play games, I'm saying this for my son, by the way, because I have a son who would rather be in the jungle than any place on earth. When I kick the bucket someday, he'll be, I figure, Bettina, I think he'll be here for about 2 days. He'll go and pay his respects, and we'll say, where's Don? He'd rather be in some jungle or and he's a really good hunter. But remember this, wildlife always wins, unfortunately, is in this case. So what happened, Dr. Jones wrote a book, and the book was amazing. I said, I want to get that book. And I got it. And The cover is unbelievable. You'll see it on Truth Social. It's on Truth Social. I put out a statement that this book is great. The story is incredible. It took him like 2 years to recover. And I think he said he's lost something, but not up here. I don't care if you've lost something physically, but as long as the head is good. Did you lose anything from the brain? Good, okay, then that's all I care about. I don't give a damn about the use of your arm.
Oh, bro.
Your wife just, oh, where is it? Oh, look at that, wow. Where is the wife of Dr. Jones? I just want to know, did he lose anything mentally? Because if he did, I no longer want him as my doctor. Then, no, he's an unbelievable doctor. No, here's the bottom line. So you had this book. He gets a call 2 days ago. I put out a Truth Social yesterday. I've sold a lot of bestsellers when I like people. I put it out, great book, picture of this viper coming like boom from the White House. And his publisher calls him, said, "Doctor, what happened? What's going on?" He said, "We're big into," did they sell 100,000? What's the number? They sold 100,000 books. It's the #1 bestseller. Can you believe it? Did you know? It's the #1 best-selling book. Can you believe that? So now you're a best-selling author. Now he can quit the White House. But anyway, he's a great doctor with that was a terrible experience.
Did he just tell Melania to clap, Chad? Because she was not clapping until he turned around and told her something.
I mean, you went through hell for years, right? And the power is incredible of animals. You know, power is incredible. You got hit, and we take a lot of respect. The chances of living from that stake are substantially less than 1%, and that's only if you have the venom. Even if you have the venom, you don't live. And this guy's living. But I have a feeling that first blow missing, I assume there was a lot less going in, right? So, but it just, he said the good Lord saved him. I can maybe say that too. Every once in a while I get that throbbing feeling. I say, thank you very much. You know, so we're in maybe a similar position. But you're a great doctor, and I appreciate it. I just think it's an incredible story. Go buy his book. But it's an incredible story. 100,000 books sold in a day and a half. That's incredible, right? It's an amazing story. I want to just explain a couple of things, and then I'm going to just leave by saying have a great Christmas. But our country is doing really well. We inherited a mess from Biden and the Biden administration. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. The worst inflation in the history of our country. Prices were the highest they ever were. And what we're doing is...
What's up, Chad? We got 500 people in the building. If you are ready to end the 2025 on a great note and start your 2026 off ready to rock, if you agree that 2026 is going to be the best year ever, hit the like button. All you got to do is double tap the screen to activate the like button. If you're in a great mood tonight, hit the like button. If you had a good day today watching football, hit the like button. Appreciate y'all for joining me, chat.
Bringing them down. We now have inflation is totally neutralized. We may get it a little bit lower. You don't want to get it you don't want deflation. Deflation is in many ways worse than inflation. But we have a record setting. We have more people on Friday. We had more people working on Friday than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. Wages have gone up by more than inflation. First time that's happened in many years. We are doing great, and prices are coming down. And the Democrats use this word called affordability. They look at the camera and they say, what are you going to do for the affordability? They keep saying affordability. Well, they're the ones that caused the problem, okay? They're the ones that caused the problem. That's all they're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out. It's coming out in truckloads. But then we won again in 2024 with an election that we call too big to rig. And we were leading big in the polls, but I said, go out and vote. You got to go out and vote. Make it too big to rig. And that's exactly, they tried to rig it, but they couldn't do it. It was too big to rig, too many votes. And we won every swing state. We won by millions of votes. We won the popular vote. We won the college, electoral college. We won something else by a lot. We won something else that was amazing, and that's called districts. So the country is divided up into thousands of districts. We won 2,750 to 525. That's why when you look at a map of the election, the entire map is red other than two little blue stripes along the outer edge. One is California, one's New York. And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged. It's such a rigged election. You know, we won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote. I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote. Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border, and they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, they have 38 million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots, and they come in. Where the hell do they go, and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California because we would win California by a lot. And again, they feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't, because I won Hispanic vote. So we did something that was amazing. We made a comeback, and we got the most Republican votes in the history of elections. We won Texas by more votes than anybody's ever gotten to this. Well, I did number 1, number 2, and 3. All 3 I did in Texas and Alabama and many other states. We won. In many states, we have the all-time record for votes. And it was just a great election. This was a great election. And you had long since recovered from the viper bite, so you acknowledged that this was a great, because I said, I want that guy as my doctor. And it's true. And your partner is so great. He's such a great guy. So I just want to say this was an amazing period of time. Our country has been turned around much faster than I thought. If you would have told me that 10 months in, we would have over 18 trillion with a T, not billion, but $18 trillion coming in. And they're coming in, that's all, they're building car plants, they're building AI plants, they're building everything at a level that we've never seen, that no country has ever seen before. Now I assume that's going to start, it's already showing up, but I assume that it's going to start showing up. I'll be picking a new head of the Fed soon. Our Fed person is absolutely, despite him, we have numbers that really nobody's ever seen, Vince, right? Despite him, we have numbers that nobody's ever seen before. We're fighting through him, and we'll soon have a good head of the Fed who's going to want to see interest rates go down. But we're fighting through higher interest rates, but the interest rates are coming down despite him. He's an incompetent person who suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, okay? It's one of those little problems. We have many of them. But we're fighting through that stuff. And we have a country that potentially is geared to have the most incredible golden years ever. We're going to have, it's the golden age. I say it's the golden age of America. When these factories and plants open up by the thousands, Toyota just announced they're going to spend $10 billion building plants to make Toyotas. So they're coming from Germany, they're coming from Japan, they're coming from Canada. Many factories are coming in because they don't want to pay tariffs. Very simple. They're coming in and they're spending they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. Our car industry lost 58% of their capacity over the years. They went to Europe, they went to Mexico, Japan, they went all over. They went to South Korea. And now it's just the opposite. They're all coming back. We have an age that's coming up, the likes of which I don't think this country has never seen. And I just look so forward to the results. You're going to see results in 6 months to a year. I think you'll see results. We've never had anything like it. Again, there's never been any country. China, wonderful. I have a great relationship with President Xi. China's never seen it. Nobody's ever seen it. And by the way, we're leading in AI by a lot. AI is a big deal. And we're leading in AI by a lot. And the big problem was electricity, but I allow our plants, in other words, all of these geniuses that are building a $60 billion plant, I allow them to build their own electric capacity as part of the plant, and that solved the problem with the old grid. So they're able to do things that nobody thought they'd be able to do. We're getting them very fast approvals, and many of those plants are right now being built. So we have things happening like nobody's ever seen before. We have a great country. It's a great time to have Christmas. And I just want to introduce a person who's very outstanding. She is a great person, a highly respected woman. Every time I make a speech, I see signs, "We love our First Lady. We love our First Lady. They love our First Lady." What can I do? I don't like it because I think they like her more than they like me, and I am not happy about it. I am not happy. We're going to have a discussion about this. But they love our First Lady. And you know, Melania did all of these decorations, and she's gotten great reviews. The first year she did the trees, that's right. The first year, year one, she did the trees, they were white, and they were so, snow, beautiful. And the fake news hit her hard. The next year, they were red, gorgeous red. They hit her hard. The next year, they were another color. They hit her. I said, "Baby, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Make the trees green. Let them just be green. They're so beautiful. Let them be green." Anyway, she has gotten the greatest reviews I've ever seen. And nobody has ever gotten reviews like this for the White House. I actually like the white ones better, but what am I going to... She has done a great job, and maybe I'll ask her to say a few words. She loves you all. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the White House. It's nice to see familiar faces. First of all, my thoughts and prayers go to the families of people who lost their loved ones around the world in this difficult time. We are celebrating here Christmas, and I'm thinking about them, what they're going through. So my heart is with them. I would like that you enjoy today the White House. It's a special place. And we have a Santa visiting today. I hope you saw him. And if not, go to visit him in the green room, the family's room, a game room. He's waiting for you. You could take pictures and maybe whisper to him what you would like to have as a present for Christmas. So enjoy the time. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And all the best to your families. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say, go. You're here for a reason. It's to celebrate Christmas and all of the holidays and the success of America. But we have the best chefs here. You are going to love that food, so go and get the food. Everybody wants to come to the Christmas party. I have made so many enemies because you can only have so many. And I've made so many enemies because I'm saying, "I'm sorry, we're just not able to accommodate you." I don't necessarily say it myself, but our people do. And I think it's 10 to 1, Vince, 10 to 1. The 1 gets in and the 10 don't. So this is not a good, politically, this is not a good thing. But you're here. The food is phenomenal. Go eat. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and really have a fantastic year. We're going to have a great year. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What's up, chat? What's up, chat? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming and rocking with me. Hope y'all having a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Kudos to everybody in the chat. Hope you are looking to have a great 2026. I know I am. So we're going to keep it going, guys. If you don't know, Trump is rescheduling, decriminalizing marijuana. That's exactly what he's doing. Trump is reclassifying marijuana, meaning that he's going to take it from a Schedule 3 to a Schedule 1. So it won't be classified in the same category as hard drugs. It's going to be like Tylenol 3, Tylenol with codeine. He's really declassifying it, which could be great news for the people that really need it for medical situations. But at the same time, marijuana stocks, if you own marijuana stocks, man, they soared. 40-50% gains on Friday on this news about marijuana. Big gains, guys. So everybody that's just now rocking with the channel, do me a favor and hit the like button. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the show rolling as we watch Sunday Night Football. Cowboys are ahead of the Minnesota Vikings 7-0. Did you see the game today with Phillip Rivers? Phillip Rivers, they say if you're over 40, you're down and out. Don't believe them. Phillip Rivers came in today, played against a crazy Seattle Seahawks defense, and held his own as an older guy. That's why you got to stay ready to keep from getting ready. Let's go, chat with the rest of this here. Let's see where we at right now. Let me get over here. Take that down. Put this here. Let me share this chat as we go on about the news about the marijuana, reclassifying of the marijuana, and how these marijuana stocks, these marijuana companies exploded on Friday. Double tap the screen to activate the like button. Guess what, guys? We're at 62 likes. 62 likes. Appreciate y'all for joining. Appreciate everybody that hit that like button. If you hit that like button, you are so amazing. You're a great person if you hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, you're still an amazing person. Just hit the like button for us, guys.
ETF, which surged nearly 55% today. Its best day on record. Such a good day that Tim comes to us in a hoodie. Tim,
in a hoodie. We're
talking
hoodie. Cannabis. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we?
So the rescheduling, that has been something that investors are hoping for. It seems like you get a whiff of it, the stocks go up. You say this is for real this time. Why?
A whiff, no pun intended. So I think it is real. I think it's always been real. I think even at the end of the Biden administration, the idea of rescheduling was out there. Remember, this doesn't require a congressional follow-through, doesn't require legislation. This is an administrative order. Trump's been very clear all along. The question was, could we get this in front of Trump, and could it be something that has enough of a priority? It's very clear that the industry has engaged Washington in a way that I think is much more sensible, been much more focused. I think there's no question that top CEOs have been in Mar-a-Lago, have been in D.C., have been working with the president's team. I think there's no question that RFK Jr. and the HHS and even Dr. Oz have weighed in on this, and important people around the president have said Schedule 3 from Schedule 1 makes a ton of sense. And I don't think this is even that controversial, even in a world of bipartisan dynamics. In fact, I think the call Wednesday night that is spoken about in the Washington Post article that was out last night between President Trump and Speaker Johnson is one that just really kind of explained what can happen. And the question is on the timing. The implications for this are incredible for the industry. And I do think that this is the kind of a domino to fall that would get other things going that don't necessarily have to be legislative follow through either, including exchange listings, which I think is the holy grail here, because that really would bring in institutional capital. If you're investing in cannabis here, there's not institutional capital.
Right. And that's what I wanted to go to. We have the screen up, Tim, in terms of the domino effect, or the different tentacles, the different ways stocks will benefit. It's not just that the products themselves are no longer, regulated in the same way as a cocaine, for instance. It's all these other effects, including listings, including access to capital, et cetera.
So Schedule 3 effectively, legalizes the medical cannabis market. But it absolutely does mean so understand that as a Schedule 1 drug, cannabis is taxed in a way that basically gross profits are absolutely taxed. It makes it almost technically impossible for companies to be profitable in any way. Vertically integrated companies can work within, accounting constructs to be more profitable. But this has huge implications right now free cash flow. And this is something that the industry, at a time when a number of big companies have also actually pushed and rolled out some debt, have actually dealt with restructuring debt and have more to go. I think it's very important. It's potentially important for the 25 calendar year where there are taxes payable. If this gets done before the end of the tax year, it could actually be a boom even for 25 free cash flow. But more importantly, it really is about, would be arguably the most important moment in Catalyst from a DC perspective. Again, this wouldn't be legislation, this would be administrative order. I think a lot would follow from here. We've heard headlines before. The sources I have in DC, the dynamics that I know have been going on for the industry now for months. Remember, we started getting real talk of Trump doing this in August. By the way, CNBS closed at the highs, but also at the high level of where prices went at the end of August. Look
at these marijuana companies. TCNNF, 66%. Green Thumb, 51%. TLRY, 44%. Weeding out the winners.
The cannabis stocks did. We were on record volume.
Hey, what's up, Knowles? How you doing? Thank you for joining.
I think this does feel different.
So by Monday, sometime next week, they're saying that he's going to declassify marijuana. We'll see if that's going to happen. All right, guys, on to the next. Appreciate y'all for joining. We got 200 people in the building. Can we get the likes up to near 100? We have 71 likes right now. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We got 200 people in the building, I think, with 71 likes. Let's get the likes up, guys. If you here hanging with the stock sniper, get the likes up. We need to get near 100. When you activate the like button, which is just a simple double tapping on the screen, it lets people know where we hanging out at. It lets YouTube know to push out the stream so we can have more people come over here and chill with us. That's what it does, guys. Appreciate y'all for joining chat. I hope y'all having a great, lovely night. I am having a great night. All right, let's keep going.
And despite what a lot of the media says, we are prioritizing public safety threats and national security threats. So I'm grateful that we got men and women on the board patrol because of the secure board that can help us in that mission. We're outnumbered, but it's a game changer having them on board with us. And let's remember, for those who want to say, okay, well, a lot of the people you arrested are not criminals. It's going back to Rodney says, we're sending a message to the whole world, we're going to enforce the law. And for those people who say, well, this person's just here illegally, if the message you want to send to the world is, enter the country legally, it's a crime, but don't worry about it. Show up in court or don't show up in court, get order removed, you don't have to leave. Like the last administration said, unless you're convicted of aggravated felony. And what happened when they sent that message? Historic illegal immigration that overwhelmed the Border Patrol. I was talking to the chief earlier. There were days in San Diego sector, not a single uniform was on patrol. You don't think the cartels had a field day with that? When you overwhelm the Border Patrol, that's when the cartels create gaps. That's when the fentanyl came in and killed 250,000 Americans. That's when sex trafficking women and children are sky high. 2 million gotaways, 18,000 no-inspected terrorists that was just announced that came in the Biden administration. They're not even counting the 2 million gotaways. Why did 2 million people pay more to get away? Why didn't they pay less to turn themselves into Border Patrol, get released within 24 hours, get a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, get a free hotel room, get 3 square meals a day, and get work authorization within a couple months? Why did 2 million people pay more not to take advantage of that giveaway program? Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. That should scare the hell out of everybody. It does me. And that's why President Trump brought all the government together. DHS, CBP, ICE, we're all working very, very close with the intelligence community, FBI. And you know, and the numbers prove it. We will not rest until we make sure every public safety threat, illegal alien in this country is removed. That's the priority. But if you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table. We're going to give you a due process in court. A lot of the people we arrested, well, a lot of people aren't criminal aliens. A lot of them are fugitives. They've had a due process at great taxpayer expense, but in order removed by a federal judge. We're looking for them. We're going to deport them. If you're in the country illegally and we find you during an operation, we'll put you in front of an immigration judge. He'll make the determination if you should stay or not. We're going to enforce the law. We're sending that clear message. Again, sending that clear message created the most secure border in the history of the nation. This makes this country safe again and is saving lives. The most vulnerable people in the world aren't making that journey anymore. I'm not standing in the back of the tractor trailer with 19 dead people to bake to death. They're not pulling children out of the water or giving CPR to a child that drowned in the river. President Trump's policies are saving thousands of lives. Even the border wall, people say that's a vanity project. You know one of the most important things about the border wall is? The most vulnerable, the women and children can't get over that wall. They're going to a place where there's not a wall, and what's waiting on them? The men and women of the Border Patrol who save thousands of lives every year. This is the right thing to do. I've worked for 6 different presidents. I've seen hundreds of policies come and go. I know what works, I know what doesn't. So doesn't Rodney. President Trump is doing the right thing. Most secure border in history. Thousands of lives saved. Strongest national security we've ever had.
I can't let that question go. I want you guys to think about something for a second. So I spent most of my career in this state. I've talked to that individual you just raised that asked that question many, many times. Don't get distracted. When they start talking about, hey, who in the whole of government approach that has legal authority is doing X, Y, and Z, they're distracting you from the mission set, which is to make sure that we know and control every person that comes into this country the best way we possibly can with tax dollars. Please focus on the mission of protecting Americans and don't allow yourself to get distracted by some of these politicians that want to have a one-off question that literally it's like a little shiny object that draws you away from the focus. It doesn't matter whose authority we're using that day or how we're doing it. It comes back to the tax dollar. And this is what I can tell you President Trump is doing. What I was told to do, what Tom was told to do. Use the American tax dollar the best you can with the laws we have in place to make sure that America is put first, that we protect Americans, and that's what we're doing. It cracks me up when somebody like that wants to talk about, well, why is John doing this instead of Jim? We're protecting America. We're going to do it the best way we think we possibly can going forward, and we're going to use all the authorities we have available to us.
So the administration has repeatedly said they're going after the worst of the worst, but there are some statistics that show most of residents in the area and the hospitals who have no criminal records. So what is your response?
Well, I can tell you everybody arrested and sent for deportation in the country illegally was a violation of federal law. And I just said we're going to force the immigration law without apology. Well, like I just said, a lot of the people we arrest that are not criminals, they're fugitives. They got final orders issued by a federal judge, and they became a fugitive because they didn't follow the court order. National security threats. Thousands of national security threats have been arrested. Most of them don't have a criminal history because their whole game is to lay low, waiting here to do the dirty deed. But yes, we are enforcing immigration law. And where do we find most non-criminal, non-public safety threat, non-national security? In sanctuary cities, because we're forced into the neighborhood because sanctuary cities won't let us in the jail to arrest the bad guy, the public safety threat, which is safer for the alien, safer for the agent, much safer for the community. So sanctuary cities, you force us into the neighborhood, we're going into the neighborhood. And when we find the bad guy, many times we're with others. If they're in the country illegally, they're coming too. And let's not remember when people say, well, a lot of these people are just here illegally. They cheated the system. They entered the country illegally, which is a crime. They put themselves ahead of millions of people who are standing in line, taking their test, doing their background investigation, paying their fees to be part of the greatest nation on earth. But these people cheated the system and went to the front of the line. The asylum claims under the Biden administration, millions of asylum claims. Fraudulent asylum claims. If anybody do their research and look at the immigration court data, nearly 9 out of 10 people who claim asylum at the southern border end up with an order removal. They simply do not qualify for asylum. They're not escaping fear and persecution from their homeland because of race, religion, or political affiliation. They're coming here for a better life, and I get that, but it's not asylum. But we have millions of people coming to the border making a false asylum claim. We got thousands and thousands of people that really are escaping fear and persecution from their homeland and need us, need the United States help. And they're sitting in the back of the bus. No, we're going to enforce laws in this country, laws enacted by Congress. And I'll say it again. The rhetoric against ICE and Border Patrol is disgusting and sickening, especially from members of Congress who want to compare them to Nazis and racists. Attacks on ICE is up over 1,800%. These men and women don't hang their heart on a hook every day they come to work. They're enforcing laws enacted by Congress. So if Congress people don't like what they're doing, then do your job and change law. That's what the legislator's for. Governors and mayors who constantly push hateful rhetoric against ICE. I said months ago, back in March, if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed and people are going to die. People say, well, Holman's a fear-monger. He's full of crap. We've had people dead. We had people shot. We had agents shot at. We had Molotov cocktails thrown on. We had someone go to Dallas and shoot an ICE facility and actually killed a couple of detainees. It's not a joke. We're enforcing the law. And we can continue to enforce the law because this country is much safer. 600,000, and I'll challenge you on the percentages because I look at the data every morning. Every morning on the way to White House, I look at 22 pages of data. The last data I looked, we've been anywhere from 72% to 59% of everybody arrested is a criminal. Well, some of the media wants to reclassify what a criminal is. Well, a Holman is just a DUI. That's not really a crime. 12,000 people a year die from DUI. It is a crime. So we are prioritizing public safety. Threats of data shows it. But again, we're going to enforce immigration law. If you're in the country legally, you're not off the table. And as Commissioner Scott says, I would take advantage of CBP Home Act. Leave on your own. Leave yourself an opportunity to come back to this country in a legal way. We're the most given nation in the country. We welcome more refugees in this country than anybody. Leave the country on your own and try to come back under a legal program. Because we have to seek you out, find you, and deport you. There are statutory bars that prevent you from ever coming back in this country. So do the right thing. Get your affairs in order and go home. It's the most humane thing to do.
Yeah, I think we're going to look at an update on that shooting at Brown University, chat. That tragedy that happened at Brown University. I think we're going to go over there and check that out. Yeah, we're going to check that out. Then we're going to go back to that.
To get so close to students. Did they have a swipe card? Were they let in somehow? What do you tell parents?
I tell the parents that this is a great city. Brown has been
this is an update
in the city. I think that this
on
is
that shooting at Brown University.
But I'll tell you that, tell the parents that if the kids are going to come to the city, to be sure that we're going to do what we need to make
double
sure
tap the screen, chat, activate the like button.
We're going to do what we need to do to make sure that we hold those people accountable.
Go over here.
With the victims, can you give us any information about, the two people who died, if they were students, or if we're going to get their names at all?
As far as we understand, due to some travel, not all of the victims' families have been notified. And so I hope everyone can respect the fact that we cannot share victim information if we have not yet first notified the families. It is around the holidays and there are some people in transit, and so we need to allow for contact to be made before additional information is shared. I'm sorry that we're not able to share more. And I will just say, I know, and I said this at the outset, I know it is frustrating that we cannot share additional information on the investigation to date. However, as has been said now for almost 24 hours, bringing the individual responsible for this horrific act in our city to justice remains our top priority, along with the healing of their survivors. Bringing that person to justice means having a thorough, complete, and tight investigation, which then can be prosecuted successfully. That's how we bring justice to the individuals involved here. And so while it may be frustrating for certain members of our community to feel like we're not being fully forthcoming with some of the details, the reason that we are not sharing details that are unconfirmed is that it could compromise our prosecution. And hopefully everyone can appreciate that the top priority is in fact bringing a semblance of justice and closure. And the way in which we do that is with the strongest case possible that we can present, that the Attorney General will prosecute. And so we will not share any details that we feel could compromise that future prosecution for the sake of justice for the families.
Mayor Smiley, sir, we know we've spoken to students who have been the victims of shootings in high school and now they're attending Brown, describing this as a uniquely American experience to go through not one but two school shootings. What do you feel needs to be done to keep this from happening, to stop that cycle of violence? And President Paxton, if you want to weigh in as well, ma'am.
Yeah, there's going to be many days, months, or I'm not sure how long, of both healing, but of also moments to advocate for what might need to change. Speaking for myself, at least, that's not today. We still have an active investigation underway. We still have students in the hospital. I won't be shy about sharing what I think needs to be done to make my community safer, but I'm not doing that today. What I will say is when I was at the hospital today, one of the students that showed tremendous courage literally said to me, you know, that active shooter drill they made me do in high school actually helped me in the moment. Which at the same time provided me hope and was so sad. We shouldn't have to do active shooter drills, but it helped. And the reason it helped and the reason we do these drills is because it's so damn frequent. And so there'll be plenty of time, at least from my office, and I don't speak for any of the other public officials here. They're welcome to share if they so choose. There'll be plenty of time to talk about what advocacy and policy changes should be made. But we're still very, very much hard at work at the task at hand, and that is to be able to bring charges forward on the person responsible. Sir.
And then can you just go through the nature of the conditions again? I know you did that this morning, but is everybody out of the woods?
The conditions have not changed as far as I understand. And so, as was said earlier this morning, one individual has been discharged. One individual remains in critical but stable condition, and the other 7 are in stable condition. I will say I had conversations with 4 of the students, and they were talking to their healthcare providers, and so if there are status changes, we'll be sure to share them.
Mayor, I have a question for you. People are asking, are you expecting to do continuous status updates throughout the day, such as this, or can they expect at a future press conference that there'll be additional information? What is your plan for keeping the public informed throughout this afternoon?
Yeah, thank you. Our expectation is that this is likely our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station. We set up here last night because we're on the edge of campus. There was a lot of work happening all around us. They're still processing evidence on campus, but that crime scene is wrapping up. Most of the streets, other than immediately outside of the building, have been reopened. And so we do expect to provide future updates. We will likely provide those at the Providence Public Safety Complex, and we will provide them as there are meaningful updates to share. I know that it can be frustrating for some when the update is that there's no update. But in the absence of progress, and what's important is that the investigation take the time that it needs to be right. And so when we have no update to share, we will say there's no update to share. And when we have news to share, we will share that news. But our expectation is that this is our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station as we're entering sort of a new chapter as the immediate crime scene winds down and we move on to what we hope will be a prosecution and to try to help our community heal. And we talk more about things like community resources, which we've announced today.
You mentioned family services. There's a crisis support line that you might be able to...
Thank you, Governor. Yes, for Rhode Islanders, Family Service of Rhode Island also has a crisis support line. The phone number is 401-854-6678. That's 854-6678. And
what's up, chat? We got 400 people in the building. Could y'all do me a favor and hit the like button? All you gotta do is double tap the screen. Right now we are streaming the update of the Brown University shooting. Activate the screen by double tap. Activate the like button by double tapping the screen. Y'all, please do me a favor. Double tap the screen so we can get more people in here. Appreciate y'all for joining. If you like the stream, double tap the screen to activate the like button.
The folks at Family Service of Rhode Island are extraordinary professionals who unfortunately have a lot of experience in this area and are a resource available to us. And I know Margaret Collin McDuff from Family Services is here, and we're grateful for her help along the way.
Colonel, one more question, Colonel. Do you need anything from the public? In other words, is there still possibly someone out there that may have information that you need? Or, I mean, the students are now being allowed to leave the campus. Does that mean that there's no potential witness here? Where does it stand that the public...
Touchdown!
Thank you, John. I think that, yeah, the call out to the public is to, evidence that they think might be worth it for us to look at. Anything that they suspect would be important for the police department to look at. So we're definitely welcome that. And so the message is please reach out. I think that that's one of the strongest things the Providence Police Department has is the partnership that we have. We are different community members. As well as different colleges throughout the city. And so if they think that there's something that's important to us, please send it our way, because we'll definitely...
We need 10 more likes to get to our 100 like goal. We're trying to get to the goal of 100 likes, chat. We 10 away. Thank everybody for hitting the like button on this stream. We are 10 likes away for reaching our 100 like goal. And what that does when you hit the like button, that lets everybody know where we're hanging at. It lets everybody know where to come chill at. Come over here and get some of this news on what's going on in the world.
Use it might be something that's important that you may think is not, but for us it is. So.
Colonel, can we describe him as a man in his 30s still? Can we still describe him as a man in his 30s, a person of interest? A man in his 30s?
The person detained is actually a person in his 20s.
Can you clarify, is this officially a suspect? Is this someone in custody? What should we call this person? Have they been arrested?
You should call this person that we detain someone of interest at this point.
What's the difference? From what I understand, Brown has sirens on their campus, emergency sirens to alert people in cases like this. Did those sirens go off? And if not, why?
So yesterday, when I don't think they went off, and I believe the fact is it was fast. We had a quick response here to the police department, but there was a message. I'm not sure if that call went out. So,
Chief, I don't know if there's anyone on that.
What's up, BJ? Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming through, BJ.
The sirens did not go off. The original information that we received was from the officer who did not receive the call. The officer saw some of the students running from the location.
We are 8 likes away from reaching the goal. We are 8 likes away from reaching the goal. We got 182 people in the building. Can we get to 100? That is the goal. Thank y'all for joining, chat.
And so it was an immediate response.
Colonel, alerting the greater...
Hold on, John.
Can you talk about just what went into alerting the greater Brown area community, people who aren't Brown residents, maybe RISD students or faculty, people in that area? What went into alerting others?
For our community, it was our emergency notification system, some of which is shared by RISD. The rest was from the city of Providence.
Colonel, can you just, Colonel...
Go ahead, please.
I know Colonel Chapman of Fresno. Can you tell us, does the person of interest have any connection to the Brown University community? And there was some report that he went into that building and yelled in the classroom. Do you have any more information about that?
So again, it's all details that are important. It's all part of the complex investigation that I spoke about earlier. I'm not ready to confirm or comment on any of that. Again, I got to respect the process. And so at this point, we're just going to continue like the mayor stated. It's complex, but we want to make sure that we have a successful prosecution. And that's more important to me than right now to give you something that just, it could, it's not a problem.
Colonel, have you started a process of search warrants?
Oh, he kept it. Touchdown. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Yeah, so at this point, we're coordinating with the Attorney General's office. We're working very closely with them. We're collecting evidence.
What are we
we're in the
talking
process
about?
also of interviewing individuals.
We're talking about a lot of things. BJ, we're talking about a lot of things. One thing we have talked about already, I don't know if you just joining, but Trump is going to sign an executive order declassifying marijuana. That means that marijuana won't be a level 3 drug, it will be a level 1. In other words, it will be looked at and will be classified like a Tylenol 3 or Tylenol with codeine. He's declassifying marijuana. Another thing that we're talking about is the shooting. They had an attack at the University of Brown. That's what we're talking about right now. We're also talking about the football game, Monday Night Football. We have discussed Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old guy that they activated to come play the game today. I don't know if you watched the game, but Phillip Rivers had a great football game today. We were also talking about Donald Trump and how 2025 was a great year and 2026 should be your best year ever. We're talking about no tax on overtime. Just sit back and chill. We're talking about a lot of things, BJ. Thank you for rocking with me, though, man. Thank you for coming through. We're talking about a lot of things.
And so that's where we're at now. That's
a state prosecution as opposed to a federal.
That's correct, sir. Yes.
Colonel, the incident happened yesterday around 4 o'clock. Can you just touch on it? Sounds like within 12 hours you had a person of interest. Could you just talk about
correct.
that?
It's
That's
just
a short window.
It's hard work. It's just it's like it's all hands on deck. An incident of this nature, I think, takes a lot of resources.
We got 3 more likes to go, guys. We got 3 more likes. All we need is 3 more likes to hit the 100 like goal. Oh man, I'm all about old dudes doing good things. Sounds like we winning all the way around then. Thanks for the shout. Yeah, appreciate you for joining. We are 3 likes away from hitting our 100 like goal, chat. Y'all are some amazing people, bro. Y'all come. There's 300 people in the building. We're almost at the 100 like goal. Y'all could be anywhere else, but y'all over here rocking with me. And guess what? Y'all are so amazing. Y'all are great. And I love and I appreciate y'all. Let's keep going.
I think the fact that we work closely with our federal partners and different municipalities, the men and women of the Providence Police Department, the detectives, outstanding work, and I think that's why we have been able to move forward as we have in progress in such a fast manner in order to have somebody detained at this point.
President Paxton,
Colonel
please.
President, under what basis are you detaining this man, and how long do you have to further the investigation until you either have to charge him or release him?
Again, a situation like this, we have basis enough to bring somebody in based on a lot of different facts. And so those facts are the ones that are allowing us to have that person detained at this point, which I cannot comment as far as what those facts are.
So we have a question for President Paxton now.
How long do you have to charge him before you have to release him?
Again, it's moving pretty fast, and we will have an answer as fast as we can. So,
President Paxton, if you can, we know that these students were studying for their finals in the midst of their schoolwork here, and now students have been told classes are canceled, finals are canceled. Can you talk about kind of the complete shift that this community is in right now, going from studying to now almost a ghost town as people are being reunited with their families?
Yeah. So thanks for the question. It is a big shift and not the way we hope to end this semester, obviously. I was in what we call the Ratty, or main dining hall today. There were a lot of students gathered there. They are amazing, and they're supporting each other. So they're good.
Talking about the emotions you're feeling right now, because you care for the students.
Yeah, I do. And, right now I think, as the mayor was saying, the students in the hospital, I talked to all but one of them, the students on campus. There's just a lot of gratitude right now, and they're remarkable.
All right, that's it for now. We will keep you posted on future updates. Again, our expectation is that this is the last update here at the Brook Street Fire Station. If you are not yet on Josh's press list, Josh, raise your hand. He's there. That's how you will be apprised of future updates, and our expectation is that we'll be at the Providence Public Safety Complex for future updates. Thank you very much.
We just heard from officials in Rhode Island with an update on the deadly shooting.
The federal level, they tend to jump following that kind of. Thank you for having me. It's great to be on.
So, Mackenzie, what exactly have we seen from these cannabis company stocks in the last few days, and what kind of jump are we talking?
Here we go, guys. The original topic: cannabis stocks jump on reclassification rumors on this marijuana. Here we go again. They're talking about it again, guys. And a lot of people are saying tomorrow is Monday. So between now and tomorrow, they're expecting Donald Trump to lay down the hammer and sign the executive order about declassifying marijuana. So you marijuana smokers, I don't smoke. So you marijuana smokers could be good news, guys. We're probably that close. We're this close from making marijuana all the way legal, which a lot of people want marijuana to be legal, which, you know, with this, we are this close from making that happen. So let's go with the rest of the show. Appreciate y'all for joining. We are one like away from hitting the goal, guys. One more like.
So I covered these stocks mostly on Friday, and we saw very, very sharp
reactions
reactions to what was essentially a lot of unconfirmed news, to use a word that sounds fairly strong, but we were seeing different outlets reporting different things with regard to this potential timeline for some action to be taken regarding the reclassification of marijuana at the federal level. Some outlets were indicating this could be sometime in early 2026. We had others saying that there could be an executive order from President Trump as soon as Monday. So regardless of what that unclear timeline might shake out to be, stocks jumped on that news. As of the market close on Friday, some of the names that I was following for reference, 2 cannabis companies, 1 real estate investment trust, which is it related to the cannabis industry in that realm, and then 2 exchange-traded funds, which are essentially a basket of stocks linked to that industry. 2 of the stocks that I followed, Tilray Brands and Canopy Growth, closed up 44% and 54% respectively. So very, very sharp percentage gains. Those 2 ETFs, I think, are worth noting. The Amplify Seymour Cannabis ETF, which trades under the ticker CNBS or cannabis, closed up 55%. And the Advisor Shares Pure US Cannabis ETF closed up 54%. In both those cases, that was the largest single day percent gain on record. So what we were saying was very, very clear enthusiasm from investors in this industry who are essentially waiting for the next big stock catalyst. And they're seeing this as, no matter when this ends up happening, that is what it's going to be, essentially, a big catalyst for these shares.
And the White House has said that no final decision has been made in terms of reclassifying cannabis. But historically, what kind of movement have we seen in the market for the cannabis industry as new legislation has come out since legalization several years ago in many states? Have there been other jumps like this that we've seen in the cannabis industry?
So I noted in my coverage, I was taking a bit more of what seemed like possibly a more cautious approach to this news. And that is because we have seen a similar reaction from these stocks before. And that was back in August when President Trump indicated that he told reporters sometime in the next coming few weeks, there could be some kind of decision made. He said he was weighing the pros and cons of how marijuana was regulated. And, indicated there might be some kind of decision in the coming weeks, which didn't ultimately pan out. But at the time, we saw similarly sharp double-digit percentage gains for Tilray Brands, Canopy Growth, these other stocks that I mentioned. And there are some other names that I didn't necessarily follow on Friday that are other ways to kind of gain exposure to this industry. Names like Curaleaf, Cresco Labs, Green Thumb Industries. These are stocks that anytime there is some kind of indication that there could be a shift at the regulatory level, especially the federal level, they tend to jump following that kind of news.
No good.
And if the drug is reclassified, that would alleviate a lot of the tax burdens on the cannabis industry that affects it a lot. So how significant would that be for the industry and then in turn for the stocks for these companies?
So that was another angle that I kind of tried to take in my coverage as well, noting that as things currently stand, any company that essentially deals in has something to do with these Schedule I substances, they are actually at the tax level in terms of excuse me. I'm trying to remember. So there's a provision under the Internal Revenue Code. This is explains the pause. Section 280E, which is pretty hard to recall off of the top of your memory. But that essentially prohibits these companies that work tangentially with Schedule I drugs from deducting certain business expenses that would normally be considered fairly essential, procedures such as payroll marketing costs when calculating federal taxable income. So if marijuana were to be reclassified, this would essentially lift this fairly heavy burden off of these companies. So, in addition to investors celebrating this news and the stocks jumping, this could actually be pretty significant news for these companies themselves beyond just the shares.
So now what I'm understanding is that by Trump, if he declassifies this marijuana, that these companies, that the dispensaries, in other words, they will actually get tax breaks. They will because they're paying more taxes because it's highly classified. But once he declassify it, that they'll pay less taxes. So with that being said, the prices of it might go down. I think somebody in the chat asked the question, will it get cheaper? In business, if I'm paying less taxes, of course I'm gonna be generous and make my products maybe a little bit cheaper. So if you're going to these dispensaries and buying it with this declassification and maybe less burden on these companies with the taxes, you might get your marijuana for a little bit cheaper. So that could be good news.
And as you mentioned, we're not sure exactly when or if this could happen. The Washington Post said this announcement could come as soon as Monday, although, again, the White House is still saying a final decision has not been made on reclassifying cannabis. So if this announcement comes Monday, or if it's delayed or it doesn't come at all, how can we expect the market to react in each of those circumstances?
So historically, any amount of good news seems to boost these stocks pretty high up. But with regard to, if the decision isn't made, I think there is some degree of understanding among investors that this is fairly speculative for now, as it has been in the past. There really haven't been any major factors driving the stock specifically upward over the past 3 years. I noted in my coverage that, over the past 3 years, Tilray and Canopy Growth have been pretty sharply down, and over the past year as well, those stocks are trailing behind the broader market as the S&P 500 actually gains. So investors, understand these are the factors that they're up against. The timeline has been uncertain historically. I think it's worth noting that when President Trump took office, the DEA, which has a certain degree of oversight over how these drugs are classified, they were moving through the review process after the Justice Department proposed making marijuana a Schedule III substance last year. So investors are, I think, fairly comfortable admitting that, this is a slow process when we're talking about regulatory decisions being made. The stocks, I'll say this much, the stocks definitely will not respond positively if, we're told, or not as positively comparatively as they, did on Friday, if there really isn't Like there's a continued lack of clarity, I would say. But in terms of good news, that could give them another boost.
And since you're always watching the stock market, you see in real time how this is all happening. How immediate, can you give us an idea of how immediate the reaction is when a big announcement like this is made, maybe in the past? How quickly can we expect that movement to hit the market?
So I'll go back to Friday, honestly. We were following these stocks in pre-market trading. That's before the market formally opens. And we were already seeing these pretty sharp double-digit percentage gains. Not in the 40%, 50% range that they ultimately ended up closing in, but still pretty sharp gains. So that's just, the nature of the news cycle. And as soon as headlines come out, stocks tend to react just because everyone kind of always has the news in their face and everyone's always watching, myself and, investors in this space as well. So, it really all depends on when news comes out, when there is more clarity, and not even news. The White House, they told myself and other reporters that no final decision had been made, which indicated, maybe it won't be Monday, maybe it won't be immediate, but if the White House puts out a statement saying, all right, these are the actions we're taking, that's, not just headlines. That's another thing that could boost these shares.
Yep, they're going to dump tomorrow.
But it really does depend on the timing of the news. Mind you, a lot of these reports were coming out on Thursday, and then we started seeing these really sharp reactions while before the market formally opened on Friday. So yeah, really depends, but sometimes they tend to be fairly immediate moves.
All right, thank you so much for your insight there. We're going to be watching this, as will you, I'm sure. Mackenzie Tatanani with Barron's. Thank you so much for your insight here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, there it is, guys. We'll see tomorrow what's going to happen. But she did say that the White House said that they're not really 100% sure that that's going to happen tomorrow. So those stocks are probably going to sell off in the morning doing pre-market. That's my take on it. That's what I think. But I'm about to get to watching this football game, guys. I'm watching the Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. And guess what, chat? We hit our goal. We hit our 100-like goal. W to the chat. W to the chat. Win for the chat. That's a win. We hit our 100-like goal, and we wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. Thank y'all, chat. Thank y'all for helping us hit that goal of 100 likes. So with that being said, till in the morning, I love and I appreciate y'all. I'm about to watch my Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings. Hope y'all have a great night. Thank y'all, chat. It's a W stream. It's a winning stream. I appreciate y'all. We hit the goal of 100 likes. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all, chat. This is the one and only Stock Sniper. Always earn, spend less, and make proper investments. Teach it to your kids and grandkids. Teach it to the people that you know. Teach it to the people in your circle. And more importantly, teach it to the world. To the next one. This is the one and only Stock Sniper. I love and I appreciate y'all. Till in the morning. Y'all have a great night, chat. I love y'all. I'm out.